Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our council meeting of August the 9th. Be it resolved, the agenda of the regular council meeting of August the 9th be adopted. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
And a seconder?
Marvin.
Thank you, Marvin. Thanks for joining us remotely. I will take this opportunity again to read our Indigenous land acknowledgement. As the City of Winkler, we acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 1 land and the home of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples in the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that have been made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to the future based on respect of all people, including the Indigenous communities, in a spirit of reconciliation, collaboration, moving forward to a harmonious, prosperous future together. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 26, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Don.
And a seconder?
Greena.
Any discussion about the minutes, or is there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the accounts payable in the amount of $576,078.90 be approved as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder? Andrew. And we have the check register. Are there any questions regarding the check register? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the bylaw number 2285-22 for fees and charges be given second reading. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew.
Any questions regarding the changes on that list? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2285-22 for fees and charges be given third and final reading. Mover?
Don.
Thank you, Don. Seconder?
Andrew.
Andrew, thank you. Any concerns at all? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that Winkler Fire Department monthly report for July of 2022 be received for information. Mover?
Michael.
And seconder?
Don.
Thank you. Any comments regarding the fire department?
Quite the increase year over year.
Yeah, they've had quite a year so far.
Yeah.
It's actually been very interesting to see some of those changes, in particular with the number of fires. I'm not sure, Marvin, or you want to maybe comment on that? Are a lot of them related to activities around the home or barbecues or that kind of stuff? Or?
No, I think it's the chief has kind of said that this is sort of the things that happen when we have a growing community. Seems like a little bit more of everything, and I think that explains a fair bit of it.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a common the issue with the hydro line arcing causing a tree fire? Because we got two of them on the same day, basically. Marv.
Marv, he was asking if it was common for the hydro lines arcing.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do. We've had a fair bit of windy weather, and then that's what happens there. So that's something that causes that, and often by the time we get there, if the wind isn't there, we don't even see where it actually was arcing.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Next item on the agenda is the community services piece. Be it resolved that Central Manitoba Tourism meeting minutes for June 24th, 2022 meeting be received for information. Mover?
Greena.
Seconder?
Michael?
Any further questions regarding those minutes?
And just to note, we now have a new executive director that has started there, and so Shane Neufeld has taken over as the executive director, or sorry, as the general manager of Central Manitoba. And so we're very excited to have him lead the team there. So he's doing a fabulous job already, and he's doing part-time Explore More Winkler, part-time Central, and so he'll be a really great asset to our region.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The other issues resolved?
Yes, we're
Okay.
all clear sailing.
Super. Okay. All in favor? And that is carried. Yes.
Let's go back to item 7.
Transportation.
You missed that one. It's fine.
I was moving right along
Central
here.
is like super exciting.
It was. You couldn't wait to get
be
there.
Couldn't wait.
Be it resolved that Transportation Utility Committee meeting minutes for July the 13th be adopted. Mover.
Andrew.
Thank you. Seconder.
I'll help out. Don?
Marvin?
Okay, Don. Okay, I got 3 helping now. Don, I'll take Don. All right. Was there anything in particular in there that was highlighted that you?
Obviously, the work that we continue to do on wastewater and water was significant, and the work isn't going to get less in the near future. So it's nice to be updated on that and to see that it continues to move forward.
And Scott, do you want to add anything to that? To kind of your progress is pretty well outlined. Okay.
Great.
All right. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved, the meeting council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover?
Karina.
Seconder?
Andrew.
Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried.
I'm going to ask to be excused based
Excused
on
for
a
this one? Okay.
perceived conflict of interest.
All right. Thank you. Jody, you can take it away.
I think on this first one, it's not 6:45, so we don't have our virtual
Oh, dear. Okay.
Oh,
virtual attender yet.
Want to wait a little
So,
bit?
waiting in the lobby there.
so do you want Andrew to come back in and we can?
Well, it's up to you. Technically, we start public hearings at 6:45. It depends if there's others who are planning to come for 6:45.
We've worked very hard for these previous 6.5 minutes, so we should probably break.
Agreed.
Actually, I was gonna tell Jack the last time your brother John was here and he had a good
Yeah.
joke to put in here, so we have
To
high
kill some time.
expectations.
Yeah. Good luck.
Maybe Paul, maybe you have one. No? Okay.
It's interesting how that happens, right?
I can just give some general guidance about the public hearing if you'd like.
Yep,
though.
sure, please.
Excellent.
Yep.
Just because we have a good number of public hearings today, so if you're here for one of them, when we get to that one, we would ask that you come to the mic if you're going to speak and give us your name and address, and then direct any questions or comments towards the chair. And then council may also have questions of you, and so if you're speaking, we'd like it if you are at the mic as we're streaming these meetings. That way the public is able to hear all sides of the conversation.
That was a good minute. Well done.
So much for that.
Well, Jody, I'm ready.
Let's do it. So a number of our public hearings are joint public hearings, and that's the case with this first one. So it's for a subdivision and for rezoning. So I'll start with the subdivision application. Public hearing is required under the Planning Act when a subdivision will result in the creation of a new road, and that's the case with this application. And I'll go through both of these and then I'll provide a little more context. The rezoning application here is for bylaw 2286-22. And the zoning is going from DR to multiple different zones. We have residential, lower, medium, and higher density. We have some public infrastructure, parks and recreation, and development reserve zones. So all of those different zones are affected by this rezoning bylaw. Now, the location of this subdivision, to use plain language instead of what's in here, is just to the east of 15th Street and to the south of Northlands Parkway, so in the northwest corner of town. That's where this Parks subdivision is happening. So on both of these applications, we have not received any objections, either verbal or written. And so there's some information and a report to council, which I understand has been shared with the developers. And we have Jack here. We also have John Fraze, who has now joined us virtually as well.
Okay. Does anyone in council have any questions in regards to this? I guess we knew it was coming. I'd like to share one thing, and it may be not necessarily just the developers, but it's people who are in the construction business. The conversation keeps coming up all the time in regards to housing that's available, and including the last week we had a meeting with Minister of Immigration, and the concern is there isn't enough housing available for rental even. Well, purchase is kind of tough right now. But when I see your proposed subdivision here that includes some of the multifamily type of dwelling, I think that's one thing that, as a city of Winkler, that we need. So I was excited to see this coming together, and hopefully that some of that construction basis can be expedited and we get on with the show. We have one seat right up here, Wayne.
Yeah, you can take Marvin's.
Take Marvin's spot, eh? Marvin, you're okay with that? Thank you. Yeah, no, that's my only comment. The sooner the better, but just would like to see something coming about. The area is a nice area, easy to get in and out of, so. We have the final construction drawings here, and also a signed development agreement. And like Jody said, report to council. Any questions, any concerns?
Should note that, just so it's clear for everyone, there was a possible traffic impact study that MTI now, I think we're calling it,
How did you change it to MTI? It said MIT.
Recently.
Oh.
Their recent shuffle.
Okay, I read that and I thought it was a typo.
Transportation and infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
So they have indicated that they're going to require a traffic impact study. We've reached out to them because a traffic impact study for that area has been done, which we think should cover it. But we've had to write the approvals here in such a way that if they do require it, then the developer would be required to do that. But we are working with the province to hopefully have them accept the previous study.
Okay, if there's no other comments or questions.
Actually, just
Henry?
one, there was a request from Garden Valley School Division, as we typically
For
get
land.
on developments. And our notes there say that council hasn't supported that in the past. And I think that's correct, but I think the rationale for not supporting that, I believe, also should be noted in the fact that in isolation, it makes no sense for us to do that and be put at a competitive disadvantage, community-wise and developer-wise, to other neighboring communities. So I think it's important that we note that as well, that there's a rationale behind it. The school division is certainly within their rights to ask for that. But when we decline that, it's important to note why we declined it.
And as you would know, the school division does this on pretty much every one.
Yeah.
Correct, as is their right to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're one of the agencies that's reached out to.
But I think in our response letter, Henry, you're right that we need to highlight that is the reason we're not. It's not that we're against it, but just simply, and we all know that on a growing community is the first one that gets caught with it, right? So that the others that aren't growing and aren't building new schools, they they really have no reason for it, but
Correct.
this shouldn't be another form of taxation that compensates in a growing community. All right, if that's it, be it resolved that combined public hearing for subdivision 4463 20-7960 and bylaw 2286-22 be closed. Mover?
Marvin?
Seconder?
Karina.
Karina, thank you. Any last comments? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that council approves subdivision 4463-20-7960, subject to a rezoning approval, minor variation approval for lot width and residual parcel, and a development agreement. Terms and conditions of the development agreement will be in accordance with the city's report to council, which include MTI's drainage and traffic study impact conditions. So, mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder,
Don?
all in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2286-22 rezone the parks to be given second reading. Mover,
Michael?
seconder,
Karina.
all in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that council give the bylaw 2286-22 third reading, subject to the subdivision approval, minor variation approval for the lot width of the residual parcel and the development agreement. Terms and conditions of the development agreement will be in accordance with the city's report to council, which includes MTEI's drainage and traffic impact conditions. Mover
Henry Siemens?
Marvin?
and seconder, Marvin, thank you. And just to double check, Jack, you guys are fully aware of the conversations that have been held and you've received that information as well, right? Okay. All right, all in favor? And that is carried. Moving on to the next
Thank you. You want to just get Andrew
public
back?
hearing, get Andrew back in?
I'll just do that, yeah.
Thank you. I think it's also important, I mean, Andrew has been missing for this hearing because it's parents and uncles that are involved in this development. He himself has no interest in it.
Yeah.
However, just simply because of the appearance, he has always chosen to step out, and I appreciate that, Andrew. And just want you to be aware of it. He's not pulling any punches. He's not here to influence, and just appreciate that in the last 4 years, or 8 years, very much.
Yeah.
All right, Jody, next one.
Okay. Just making sure I got the right one here.
VA 2022-027.
Yep, so this is also a hearing for conditional use and variance. Conditional use 2022-007 and variance 2022-027. And this is in order to construct an 8-unit commercial condominium as a planned unit development. And this is a conditional use in the SI zone. And it's requested to reduce the required, for the variance, to reduce the required site area for the planned unit development from 3 acres to 1.1 acres. Address here is 920 Adora, and the owners and applicants are the Concrete Edge. And so we have not received any objections to either the variance or the conditional use application.
Okay. Council have any questions? The applicant, anything you need to add? No? Okay. All right, if there's no questions, then we'll carry on. Close the combined public hearing, variation number VA 2022-027, and the conditional use CU 2022-007 for 920 Adora Avenue. Be it resolved that the combined public hearing variation number VA 2022-027 and conditional use CU 2022-007 be closed. Mover?
Marvin?
Thank you, Marvin. Seconder?
Karina.
Thanks, Karina. All in favor?
Closing.
And that is carried. Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2022-027, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSTW. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Don?
all in favor? And that is carried.
I'll voice the same thing I said in the last one like this. I'll oppose this strictly on our initial outline of what we thought that area should be. That it wasn't supposed to be for condos, it was supposed to be for building businesses for creating jobs. So not that this isn't creating jobs, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed to building in general, but just original mandate of Clover Creek was to build jobs, so I'll stay consistent with that. To vote.
Thank you. So noted. All right.
That was the variation, right?
That was the variation. Okay. Next one, approve the conditional use. Be it resolved that council approve the conditional use number CU 2022-007, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSCW. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Don?
and those in favor? And opposed? Thank you. So noted.
I would suggest if council would wish, there's also subdivision approval required at the end of the agenda for this address, but it doesn't require a public hearing, but if you wish to approve that now as well, you could. And then this one is dealt with.
Makes some sense.
Should we do that now?
So that would be 13.7 on your agenda.
Okay. Okay, let's do that one.
It's a long ways down.
13.7-1, approve subdivision. That one?
Yep.
Be it resolved that council approves subdivision 4463-22-8224, subject to the conditional use and variance approval, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSTW. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Don?
and the question again, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And then no need to, no need to, there's a resolution to close. We don't need to do that on that one, so we can move to the next one.
Okay. Be it resolved that council approve variation number VA 2022-028, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSCW. Mover?
Oh, I think we're,
No, am I on the wrong one?
yeah, I think we're gonna.
Now we're
have a
going back
hearing
up.
For 13.4 first.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a second here, then I'll,
I think
There's a lot
13.4.
going on.
yeah, there's too many little
It definitely is.
pieces here. Okay, 13.4.
Okay, so we have another very similar conditional use and variance application, CU 2022-008 and VA 2022-028. The request here is in order to construct a 4-unit commercial condo as a planned unit development, and a planned unit development is conditional use in the SI zone. The variance is to reduce the required site area for a planned unit development from 3 acres to 0.6 acres. Location is 740 Norland Drive. Owner and applicant is Pinnacle Inc., and we've not received any objections to these applications.
Okay, anybody here? Any questions of council? All right, therefore be it resolved that public hearing for variation number VA 2022-028 and conditional use number CU 2022-008 be closed. Mover,
Michael?
seconder,
Karina.
all in favor?
Closing? Yeah.
Yep. Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2022-028, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSTW. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Don?
and the question, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Carried. Next public hearing.
Conditional use,
Yep.
13.4.
Yeah, just a minute. One down too far there. Okay. Okay, be it resolved, council approve conditional use number CU 2022-008, subject to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSCW. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder.
Don,
All in favor? Opposed?
Sorry, opposed.
Okay, carried. Okay, next one.
Next
Jody.
one. So we have variance application VA 2022-029 and conditional use CU 2022-009. The request is to construct a 23,000 square foot addition to the existing 26,911 square foot pizza plant at 525 Roblin Boulevard East. And so buildings, again, in the SI zone must have a minimum rear yard setback of 20 feet. A multiple use planned unit development is a conditional use in the SI zone. So the conditional use is to allow multiple uses, buildings or structures, once 505, 525, and 545 Roblin Boulevard East are legally consolidated. The variance is to reduce the required rear yard setback from 20 feet to 11 feet. Location is at 525 Roblin Boulevard East. Applicant is Ed Pinner Construction on behalf of owners 4936095 Manitoba Limited. And we have not received any objections to these applications. And again, you have a report to council accompanying this one.
Thank you.
The only staff, or the recommendation from staff is to approve with conditions, and that be subject to true lot consolidation.
Okay. And you guys have any concern about that? You're okay? Okay. I'd like to give you a minute or two to tell us what you're doing, because it's exciting, I think, to see a business grow. And, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
You want to step up to the mic there?
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I understand there's no objections received at
No.
this time, so, okay, I won't really need to make a pitch, but yeah, the city of Winkler and the surrounding area, and in fact, all of Manitoba has really supported Spence Bros. And so it started with the beef, and now with the pizza, it's been, just the growth is incredible, and we've had lots of invitations for Saskatchewan and Alberta, which require a federal meat-topped pizza. So the plant itself for the pizzas currently is able to be inspected and would pass federal inspection. But if we get the meats now made federal, then we can take this pizza across the country, and that's our plan at this time to do that. So would like to also add that it was not our intention to seek a variance for this construction. We were somewhat misadvised that the setback needed to be 10 feet. So that's why it's actually sitting at 11 feet back. Just some mistakes had been made at that time, and yeah, we thank you for your understanding up to this time and for this one as well.
Well,
I think
guess-
one point to note maybe that the rules were 10 at that time. And when there's a significant change like this, then you have to bring it to conformity to the new rules. So the change isn't as big as it sounds. That's a good point that you brought up. Because based on what you built at that time, that was perfectly fine at 10 feet. It's the change now that needs to be dealt with.
And we haven't heard anything from the geese. They're okay with that, so we'll be fine. You know, it's always very exciting when you see a business that's thriving and increasing in capacity, and, you know, everybody is in a similar situation where you're looking for people to work, and I'm sure you're no different. But to be able to do this and expand it, and actually, I was on a conference call with Walmart from the entire Western Canada just a week ago, and they actually brought it to my attention that you were going to be distributing pizzas through Walmart. So I thought that was kind of an exciting comment to make. So,
Excellent.
but yeah, it's always neat to see. So we'll carry on. Be it resolved, the public hearing for variation number VA 2022-029 and conditional use CU 2022-009 be closed. Mover?
Michael?
Seconder?
Karina.
Thank you. Any final thoughts? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2022-029, subject to lot consolidation through the registration of the new plan of survey by December 31st, 2022. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Andrew?
all in favor? And that is carried.
Now it's approved.
Now it's improved. Thank you
Be
for
it-
what you guys do
be
for
it-
the community.
One more
We're
to
not
go.
done yet.
We got one more. We've got conditional use
Be it
yet.
resolved that council approve conditional use number CU 2022-009, subject to lot consolidation through the registration of the new plan of survey by December 31st, 22. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Don?
all in favor? And that's
And
carried.
now we're good.
Now we're
There
done.
we are.
Now we're
Forget it.
done.
I said my piece.
Give her.
Good. Just kidding. Thank you, guys.
Have a good evening.
We have another public hearing. Jody?
We do.
Una mas.
We've made our way to the last one. So we now have conditional use application CU 2022-010 and variation application VA 2022-030. And the request is in order to construct a 94 square foot and 140 square foot additions to existing 6,600 square foot floor area. We have a conditional use in the SI service industrial zone. And we have buildings in the SI zone that must have a minimum rear yard setback of 20 feet. So the conditional use is to allow a cafe in the SI service industrial zone, and the variance is to reduce the requested rear yard setback from 20 feet to 9.7 feet. Location is 425 Roblin Boulevard East, applicant Quaker Farms Limited, on behalf of owner Faith Mission. And again, we have not received any objections to these applications. And there's a report to council as well. And on this one, it was just a recommendation to approve both the conditional use and variance.
Okay. Well, it's another exciting thing, Wayne. And why don't you tell us your story, what you're planning on doing?
Yeah, so we made a deal with the Faith Mission Group and built them a new building in exchange for the ideal site for us for our new potato store. And so the existing building will just be renovated, so it's really no addition. I mean, there'll be small jut outs, but, and the setback is only because we want to change the address to Circle K Drive because we think our building should be on Circle K, so that creates a new setback
Right.
issue. And then we'd like to have a little coffee shop so that people could enjoy the Discovery Nature Center, park their car there, it's a nice big parking lot, have a cup of coffee and go for a walk or tea, whatever it is. And we think it could be a beautiful addition to the city and to that area.
So it'd be like a patio?
Yeah, we're
Facing-
hoping for a
yeah,
patio kind of
nice.
thing. That's kind of our vision is that, for now, we just want to move the potato store in there, but we
Right,
want to,
yep.
we want to design it internally so we can have a little kitchen and have a little coffee shop / bakery maybe.
Nice.
That would be our
Nice.
dream.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thanks
Any
again.
other questions?
Innovation and just great to see that happening, and thanks for your confidence in our community to do that kind of thing. Appreciate it.
building will be beautiful. It's a huge renovation, so.
Yeah. Okay, any questions of council?
Pretty excited about this pizza, beef,
Exactly.
bakery, cafe.
Exactly.
This is a good day.
How
This
can you go
is-
wrong, yeah?
This is a good day.
Awesome. All right, be it resolved that the public hearing for variation number VA 2022-30 and conditional use 2022-10 be closed. Mover?
Michael?
Oh,
Okay, Karina and Michael, thank you. Any further questions? All in favor? That's carried. Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2022-30. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Don?
All in favor? Well, that's carried. Be it resolved that council approve conditional use numbers CU 2022-10. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Don?
All in
Green.
favor? And that is carried.
And we can move to
Okay.
13.8.
Okay, we got 13.7 done, so be it resolved that the public hearings be adjourned and regular council meeting reconvene. Mover?
Michael?
Marvin?
Michael and Marvin, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Only one item left on the agenda. Questions from media, but I don't imagine, or do you?
See you guys.
We'll chat later if you want, but be it resolved that regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover?
Michael?
Michael? Seconder? Andrew?
Sure.
Thank you. All in favor?
Good job.
Carried.
Well done.
Duly noted.